Good morning. Hey, Val. Nice and early. Good to see you. It is Friday, but that also means the weekend is ahead. If you are trading, I hate weekends, but at least the weekend ahead. Hey, Pips Apprentice, how you doing? You're well. Give it a moment or two before we get started. Just checking the Facebook stream. Moment. Okay. Couple of minutes before we get started. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all well. Hope you all traded the ECB well last night. If you're on the session, I can actually see a number of people watching. Do drop a message, say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that we're ready and good to go. It wasn't me for the UJ. I think it was Angel K's with the US yen trade. I had very good pound dollar and euro dollar trades. Pretty much done for the week. I think it was about 140 pips last night. So I'm happy, even if I don't enter any trades today. Hey, Angel Case, we were just talking about your US yen trade just then. No worries, Val. Not a worry. I wish I got into the yen trade as well. Hey, Carsten, how you doing? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Elliot. Hey, AYJ. Good to see you all back again. Happy Friday. I think today is going to be a retracement day, so might not be a lot of big trades happening, but hey, Rove 3V, good morning. How are you doing? Angel Case is still in the US yen trade. Just let you know, Vel. So Angel Case is on TradingView, Vel is on YouTube. So I'm just doing that linking between the chats. Alrighty, let's get started. Again, thank you all for joining me. Today is Friday, the 15th of September. We had a big session last night with the ECB, slight surprise with a rate hike. Euro dollar dropped, pound dollar dropped, everything else pretty much didn't move too much. The main focus was for me was on the euro and on the pound dollar. A lot of the pairs moved as we had planned, so that was quite good. If you are a regular on the session, or even if you're new to the session and you did get into any trades, put it into the chat. Let me know how you went with last night's news. Okay, and then if you're new to the session, drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. Do help me out, click that like and subscribe button on YouTube and on TradingView. Get more people onto the session. And if you haven't already, the Discord channel link is there for you to join us on Discord. It is absolutely free to join. That's where we can take our discussions beyond this daily market analysis into further conversations, especially if we get into any trades or see any setups come around. Okay. Hey, Klasniz, how are you doing? And hey, Jordan, good morning. With that quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please do your own due diligence because the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Okay, so we will be looking at trades, trade setups, potential trade setups on H1 time frame. This again, someone asked yesterday, or someone made a comment yesterday. This is not a signal service. This is sharing with you my analysis, my thoughts, my watch list, what kind of trades I'm looking to get into. So if you do want to jump into any trades, look for the setup. Use my analysis and setups, but make sure it fits with your own trading analysis as well. Okay. Plus, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna butcher your name. How do I get started using your YouTube channel? Jump onto the YouTube channel. There is a series of educational videos there, entirely available for you guys to watch and go through, absolutely free. That was a course that I used to do in person. I used to charge thousands of dollars for that. Now it's uploaded free for you guys. So do check out the educational videos. I think it's called the 4-day Kickstarter. So it's there available for you. There's a bit of insider news here is that I am working on a whole new set of educational videos, going right from the basics all the way through potentially every indicator, every indicator, every setup, every strategy, breakout, retracements, Fibonacci's, MACDs, RSIs, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, maybe some harmonics and Elliott wave. I'm still building that side up, combining them for different trading setups, looking at some SMC as well, looking at scalping strategies, intraday strategies, swing strategies, all that put together. That's going to be the absolute brain dump that I'm doing for you guys, putting it all there for you, right? It is taking, I just started that about a week ago, so it is taking a little bit longer than I expected to do a brain dump, writing everything up, presenting, recording, making sure it's good. So, stay tuned. It is coming out. And I'll let you know when it gets launched, right? So when you ask when's the full set going to be released, don't know yet. I hope to do it by the end of the month, but we shall see. I do get distracted and busy with all kinds of stuff. So as soon as possible. All right. But I'm sure it's going to be absolutely beneficial for anyone at any level watching and joining on that course. Okay. Hey Ahmed, how you doing? Good morning. Hey Gokan, Mashi Mashi. Hey Kaz. Hey Mehdi, good morning. How you doing? All right. So with that, today is a Friday and the disclaimer is done. Let's get straight into it. What did we have yesterday? We had at 8:15 p.m. GMT +8, we had the Euro, the ECB, with their main refinancing rate was 4.25%, expected 4.25%. I guess the leak that we had on Monday was right, where the ECB, where it said that the ECB leaked, there was a leak that the ECB was going to do a 25 basis point rate hike, came true. The ECB did hike rates from 4.25 to 4.5%, a 25 basis point rate hike. And in the statement, it was actually said here that, let me just pick up. Right? Although inflation continues to decline, it's still expected to remain too high for too long, and that's why they decided to raise the rates by 25 basis points. Get rid of that, okay. And then the other part of the statement was that, what was it? Right, APP portfolio is declining at a measured and predictable pace, so that's good. No longer reinvest the principal payments for maturing securities. Don't worry about the APP too much at this point. And then the Governing Council stands ready to adjust all of its instruments within its mandate to ensure that inflation returns to its 2% target over the medium term. By saying that, ready is to, just all of its instruments, is just saying that, hey, we might continue raising rates if required, but it is going to be data dependent, as they always say. Okay, and then from there through to the press conference, just looking at the headlines, ECB did not discuss duration rates will stay high, not saying we are at peak rates. Another hint, right? Another hint that while they are looking at or they have increased rates, they might still continue increasing rates. It's not the end, they're not at peak. Some governors would have preferred to pause, so there's a little bit of dissent there in terms of the rates decision. Then economy likely remain subdued in coming months. Recent indicators suggest weak Q3, services weakening. Not very good news again. And there you can see hike rates, 25 basis point lifting it. Then that's a dovish hike, what everyone is calling it, right? And because of what happened here, dovish rate hike, soft Q3, services weakening, and then taking it to 25 up by 25 basis points. What we saw on the euro dollar because of that news was from 1.0730 straight line down to 1.0654, rebound a little bit before continuing down towards that support of 1.0636 or 35, right? I caught that move, the whole of that move at about 75 pips. My take profit is about 75 pips, so slightly higher there. Super happy with that move to the downside on the euro dollar. And that was driven by that news event. Okay, the rate hike, typically what you would be thinking, or what you might be thinking is, hey, if it was a rate hike, why is the euro dollar not moving up? It's again casting back to what we spoke about yesterday, where over the last many times that we were looking at the euro dollar, after a hike, it dropped. There was a push up because of that short-term trend to the upside. Then again, back down again. Those green dotted lines, go refer to yesterday's video for more info. Okay, I'll take that one away. That's done. Sorry, I'm just clearing up some circles and lines there. Okay, so those were the scenarios that we were planning, and that's why we actually saw the euro dollar drop as pretty much as planned. Then while that was happening on the euro dollar, we actually saw the retail sales number for the US. Remember that it was at 0.7. They were expecting it to drop to a 0.1. So it got revised down to a 0.5 and it was released at a 0.6. So not a bad news there. In fact, a good news there for the US, as we saw retail sales number month to month grow slightly and also beat the expectation for a decline, right? So it did not only did it not drop to 0.1, in fact, it went to it was released at 0.6, slightly higher than the revised 0.5 and definitely more than that 0.1. And that's why at that time, 8 p.m., as the euro dollar dropped, we saw that dollar strength recover, and also that continuation, that additional afterburner, that trust, right, pushed the dollar up further to the upside, driven by the rates decision and also the retail sales number from yesterday. So a lot of news. Main thing was on the euro dollar that I got into, and also the pound dollar. Got out slightly early on the pound dollar as it missed, then it rebounded, so I got out about 65 pips, now retracing back up slightly. Okay, so those were the two main things, or the two things that I got into from yesterday. Angel case was on the US yen, trading it to the upside. I did not get onto the yen. I'm still waiting for it to break above, looking for that move up. Okay, so although it did bounce very nicely off 38.2, I wasn't keen. I was fully focused on the euro dollar and the pound dollar, so wasn't keen to take anything in this range, waiting for it to break out. Looks like it might happen maybe today, for the US yen to break out to upside. With that, rambled on for a good 10 minutes. Good morning, Hachi. How are you doing? Hey, Matic. Good morning. Hey, Booba. Hey, Robbie. With that, now looking at the news for today. Chinese retail sales, Chinese industrial production numbers, 3.7, 3.9, 4.5, doesn't do too much. President Lagarde speaking at 5:45 p.m. GMT plus 8. This is at the press conference of the Eurogroup meeting. I don't think she'll say too much, but something to watch out for. Then US Empire State Manufacturing Index, minus 19 to a minus 9.9. Slightly less of a negative number, might be a bit of a good news, but Empire State Manufacturing Index is not something I pay attention to. I focus more on the PMI numbers. Might bring some upside, a bit of a dip on the dollar before continuing up, because it's going to be a negative number, so we might still see a dip. But if it comes out at about that minus 9.9 level, then it might be a bit of a good news in terms of a slowing down of the negative. And then consumer sentiment, 69.5 to 69. Might see some retracement there towards the end of the week. The main thing to focus on today is that we have had big moves on the dollar, we have had big moves on the euro and the pound, and across some other pairs as well. Possibly towards the end of the week now, we are going to see some level of retracements right across the board. Right, so I'm super happy I made the money earlier already. I might not be rushing to trades today if the retracements come around. But from what I'm looking at on the market so far, might be a retracement. We might have seen the retracement over the Asia timing and over the early Euro timing, maybe later on in the day, later on into my day, later on into your day, we're going to see maybe a continuation of that dollar strength. But I still anticipate some level of retracement following the big move from yesterday. Okay, so that's with the news. Buba has a question: why most currencies spike when there's unexpected rate hike, but euro dollar seems to behave differently? No, actually, most currencies nowadays, over the last 2 years, one to 2 years, most rate hikes have been met with a spike to the downside or continuation to the downside, because a rate hike is one of the tools to slow down inflation growth, which also leads to a slowdown in overall economic activity, and that's why we see it dropping. Right? Previously, when rate increases, we actually, or theoretically, when rate increases, we should see the currency spike up because of the carry trade, the benefit of holding on to the currency for the positive interest rate payouts, so we call carry trade. But with the current scenario where everyone or every central bank is hiking rates or is earning somewhat good interest rate, higher interest rate levels, a rate hike now has a little bit of an inverse effect where it tends to indicate a slowdown in economic activity, and why we're seeing the currency drop. Okay, and we went through the scenarios, a couple of examples on the euro dollar over the last 3 news events or interest rate events, where it always most often led to a drop in the euro dollar. Okay, hope I answered your question there, Buba, in terms of why it didn't really behave differently. It just pretty much moved as we planned. Hello, D-Train, how are you doing? Okay, so now with that, then just a quick overview into what we could expect next week. Euro with their financial meetings, not too worried. Japanese, respect for the aged day, that's fine. Next week, Tuesday, we have monetary policy meeting minutes from the Aussies. Canadian CPI numbers. UK, that's what I want to be watching out for. UK CPI numbers on Wednesday. Fed funds rate from the US on the 21st of September. Most likely, we went through this yesterday, most likely I think it was a 97% likelihood that you're going to stay at 5.5%. Can't rule out, same like the euro dollar or the ECB, can't rule out a surprise, but it looks like we're most likely going to see it stay at 5.5. SNB, Swiss National Bank, they could surprise. We'll look out for that on at 7. Oh, look at that on Thursday. This is going to be interesting. So on Thursday next week, we have the early 2 a.m. GMT plus 8. We have the US with the interest rate decision, then followed by the Swiss with their interest rate decision, and then the Bank of England with their interest rate decision. That's going to be interesting. A lot of volatility there. And then on Friday, we have the Bank of Japan with their policy rates decision. So look at that. And what I'm anticipating here is that next week, we had the fireworks for yesterday already. We might see a bit of a quiet session on Monday, Tuesday, definitely on Wednesday. And then we're going to see the fireworks reignite on Thursday with 1, 2, 3 central banks rate decision, followed on with Friday, Japan with their rates decision, and then PMI numbers at the end of the week. Looks like it's going to be a big week ahead. Looks like it's going to be a massive week ahead. So we'll look out for that. Make sure you tune in, find out more. Chris with a question: how much would a retrace move to reach resistance or support? It could go for a small retrace. Chris, we will look at that for each individual currency pair. It might be a little bit different right across the board. No fixed number that it should or should not retrace by. Okay, so we look at that as a whole across the all the currency pairs. So now, looking at the dollar index, look at that, looking back up already. Okay, so 15th of September, we were saying yesterday over upside breakout of squeeze above 104.80, could see 105.10, went up to 105.10, broke beyond that, went as high as 105.40, almost 105.45, retrace, and now looking like it's pushing back up again. So to answer Chris' question a little bit more is what do I think about a retrace? I do look at it at levels like this when I push from the start to the end points. Then I look at the fib levels. Take this whole move. Right, so I look at the fib levels here, and then I would be paying attention to, kind of zoom it in. Okay, there we go. Then I'll be paying attention to these two levels in particular, just because of that confluence. Okay, first one is right there where we have seen price come down, test that 23.6 level, and then bounce back up. Right, it's not confirmed yet that it's a good bounce from that point. So let me properly. That's what we have there. Okay, so first level I'm looking at is at this point, 23.6. Looks like it's bouncing. Then the next level, I say if that fails, because it's still a little bit early, we do have 38.2, which coincides with those levels that we saw for the last couple of weeks. Okay, so that coincides with that 105.10 level. So how I look at this is if the dollar index stays above that range, a bit more specific, if it stays above this range, we're going to see the dollar index climb up towards 105.5. Right, my question is that I was anticipating a retracement today. I was anticipating maybe a little bit deeper retracement, possibly down to this level, but it looks like it might do that. So what I'll be looking out for here is stays above 105.10, 105.20 area, new upside to 105.5. Okay, so that's how I look at it. Idea is that, yeah, maybe it could go directly from here up towards 105.65. Could sit around that point, but so long as it stays above 105.10 and 105.20, I'm going to be looking for that continuation of the upside. Most likely, what I anticipate is going to happen is Feel good. Let's push it back up again. Only thing is that it was anticipating a little bit more of a retrace. So no major news. Push it. Okay. Do you think that that's going to happen? I think that it's going to bounce around here. Right? I think it's going to bounce around here a little bit, come back down, and then up. So it just needs to stay above this resistance turned support level. So I would even say that one. So above 105.10, continue upside to 105.65. Good morning, FX Chief Priest. Thoughts on EJ? I will do that for you later. I think that actually more likely that's. I think it's still a bit too early to say that it's found complete its retrace. I am looking for it to retrace a little bit more while pushing. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then on to the Kiwi dollar. Right, we found that double top. This was what we were looking at. Some of you on Discord, I was sending out that message just as the candle was coming down to that point. I said, Kiwi dollar looks like it's ready, almost there. Did not close below 105, 5915. So I didn't enter that trade. And then when it came to the news, I thought, great, I'll be focused on the euro dollar again. Now, again, we had a double top there. Now we do have a better double top again. Pushing to the downside. I would, yesterday we were looking at 5915 to sell down like that. But now, given the way the Kiwi dollar bounced off this point, I think that it would be a bit too rash to enter a trade at that level, at 5915. Despite that double top, what I would be looking for is a break. So below 5895, stop loss 35, 36 pips. Take profit would be tight, no more than 15. There we have it. I wanted to break below this point, double top, break that level there, go lower, 35 pips to that equal low there, 15 pips stop loss. That's a setup, but it might not be a super attractive setup. If you want to rush into a trade right now, maybe, but I wouldn't be rushing into any trades at this point. That still needs to find maybe at the close of the hour. If it closes green, I think it'll continue up. I think this could happen. The downside, a quick trade to the downside. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get to it. 5895, 15 pips to 35. 5895, stop loss 15, take profit 35. I just realized. Zane, I will get to gold. Hang on tight. Okay, I'm happy with that. On to the Aussie. Again, did not trigger, did not do anything. Take that one away. But I like this. Take that one away for now. Clear out some of this. good resistance. In fact, I would change that resistance up here at 6474. That one away. So I think that that's a good resistance there because of that swing level, that swing level. 50% is broken. Pretty sure 61 is broken as well. So we can take that one away with, well, then now looking at this, go keep that as a reference. Looking at this, pushing up. There we have. That makes a lot more sense when you say double break. Now it looks like it's trapped between 6474, 6475, and 6365. That is not a good level, tip level to test. Okay, so what I would be looking for here on the Aussie, I don't want to go too low. I don't want to go too low here. I am still, because we are expecting some dollar strength to come back into play, still looking for that downside. $23.6 could do that. Down, so if it looks like this, 30 to 80, I don't see a reason why it should drop that much. I don't see a reason why it should reverse everything that is done this week, right? And because of that, what I actually think, another view here on the Aussie might be that we could see, just a thought is that we could see it come down, test, bounce back up again. Yes, I know we are expecting dollar strength to push up, but I'm just thinking the possibility of this happening. Okay, so let's look at this in the sense that we have this as DXY strength. If the dollar index retraces further, right, it doesn't do this and it retraces further, then maybe look for the Aussie dollar to come down, test around this level, which we've seen it bounce quite a bit as well. 6440 bounce back up, and then maybe it's a bit more of a speculative continuation of that upside. You could be looking 6480, 50 pip take profit, 20 pip stop loss. That would be possible as well. There's a different approach if we see the markets, or if we see the dollar index not shooting back up. If we see dollar index pull back further, that might be something to look out for. Okay, so 6480, 50 pips to 20 to 50. Bit of a contrarian view. So buy 0.6480, stop loss 20, take profit 50. DXY week, something to think about. Hey Billa, how you doing? Most stuff asking for gold. I will get to that shortly. Hang on tight. Meantime, help me out. Click like, click subscribe, click that little rocket ship button on TradingView. right? So that could, and if it doesn't, then sell down 6 pips, take profit 20. That could be it as well. I'm just a little bit more cautious on this just because it's been moving to the upside and there are a lot of levels here in the middle for the Aussie dollar. So I would like to see it push back up. Might be more interesting, a little bit more straightforward. But if it does break down, then 6430 stop loss 20, take profit 64 could be an idea as well. So two possibilities there on the Aussie dollar. US yen is coming close. I will maintain this view. 147.95 right across. I'll maintain that. Yeah, we've been waiting for that, so we're looking for that to continue to the upside there. Okay, so we can take that one away as well. That's become our resistance. Quite happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to maintain that view on the US yen to buy 147.95, stop loss 25, take profit 70 to the upside. If you are like Angel Case, you're already in the trade, then I'll be looking to hold on. I'll be paying a bit of attention to how it reacts at this level here at 147.80. But I think that looks like it's going to break, push to the upside, and we can look for continuation up. If you have a trade running, very good. I would think continuation to the upside. If you don't, then look for it to break before a move to the upside. Okay, good. Then onto the pound dollar. So again, answering that question on guesstimating how far a retrace could go. Again, we made money on that. We'll take that one away. This move, looking at that, it's broken 23.6, could come up to 38.2. Most likely gonna could stay within this range. I am actually considering, I want to see it test this level, just because of what happened here. Right, just because of what happened here. Why do we have this? That makes sense. Tell you what, we could actually go take away, do without this level. Why is it down to that? That it's because look at how it's been acting. Testing, finally broke through, came down. So what I'm looking for here is a possible retest of that 50% level. It is consolidating. I'm not ruling out the idea that could sit around there and then after that turn back down again, right? That would be the straightforward view. I'm sure you guys can see that as well. But what I'm looking for is possibly a push test of that resistance before turning back down again, which would fit with the view here that it could sit there, push down a little bit before pushing back up. So pound dollar, looking to sell down 1.2440. Very tight, or relatively tight stop loss at 20 pips. Take profit down to 40. End of the week, I'm not going to think that it's going to go too crazy to the downside. That's what I will be looking for. 1.2440, 20 to 40. Okay. 1.24. Anyone got into the pound dollar from last night? Pound. I'm super happy I caught the pound and the euro. Anyone did that as well? No. That's what we're looking for on the pound dollar. Then onto the euro dollar. Look at that big move. All right, it's retracing a little bit right now. A reminder to everyone, drink some water. Retracing a bit right now. Looking at this. I will look at euro yen right after I do euro dollar, because I've just looked at US yen. I looked at euro dollar now. Then we look at the euro yen. So bear with me. Finding 23.6. It's struggling at 23. I was a little bit surprised that it's struggling at that point. Below this, let's find the next level down from first. Okay, so point here. DL in our group was asking, is euro dollar going to go down to 105? Right there. Right? I said maybe, I think I said maybe next week. I don't think this week. I'm looking at 23.6. Ah, cool. Right, I'm looking at 23.6. Looks like it might hold. Yeah, so okay, the thought process, why I'm hesitating, the thought process is whether it's going to turn down from here or whether it's going to go back up a little bit. But when I think about it, it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes we focus on things that really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's going to sit here and turn down, or whether it's going to climb back up before turning back down again. No matter where it is in this area here, I'm not going to be looking to sell. The only time I'm looking to sell is if it breaks below this support level. Okay, so it doesn't matter where it's going to retrace up to, whether it's going to retrace at all. It really comes down to, okay, if it breaks 1.0640, 1.0635, then I'll be looking to sell, because I wouldn't be looking to buy the euro dollar back up. I'll only be looking to sell. So 1.0625. No, let's give it a bit more. 1.0620. No more than 30 pips, right? Down 100 to the downside. It's not. I'll be super happy if it does move that way. I don't think it will, but that could be a trade setup that we're looking at. And then if you go back to the H4 time frame, in the middle there, we do have some levels that could relevant, say about that point, right? So again, one back to the present. Not even gonna make. Okay, I'm gonna set. All right, so I'm not fast thinking about it. Sometimes it helps when I think aloud, right? I have someone who just said, good morning from Brazil. Good morning, how are you doing? Second Brazilian viewer. Looking at this, just looking for it to break. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter how far it's going to retrace by. I wouldn't want to be selling anywhere in the middle there. I want to sell only when it breaks support. So 1.0620, stop loss 30, take profit 100. Can always choose to close out anywhere in the middle there as well. Okay, so sell 1.0620, stop loss 30, take profit 100. And I hope that's a lesson, that's a indirect lesson to a lot of people, is that sometimes we kind of focus on where is it going to go to, and if it gets there, what's going to happen. Doesn't matter, right? It comes down to it can do whatever it wants up there. I'm only looking to sell if it breaks that support. There we go. Keeping it short and Fʀɪᴇᴅsဃɪᴘ got onto pound dollar, as you said, but got a lot to learn before I really. No worries. It's all a learning journey. I am learning every day as well. So don't feel like you should be rushing into anything. It's all a learning journey. Time you don't learn, it die. Now, with that, FX Priest has been asking about the euro yen. So dollar yen pushing to the upside, euro dollar potentially pushing to the downside. Euro yen now came last night came down, tested support at 5688, formed a nice double bottom, now pushing back up. Driven back up because of the US yen pushing up and also some retracement on the euro dollar. So that's why we see this climbing. Question was, do you think euro yen is going to reverse at 157.89 and go lower? 157.89 up there. Most likely. That on the euro yen, the yen is going to drive it up. Euro dollar is driving up a little bit right now. I don't even think we have a trade here on the euro dollar for today. Might be a next week. Might be a retracement day on the euro dollar today. So on the euro yen, question is, would it come to 159.89? So 159.9. I think so. Okay, what I mean by think so is that if it comes to that point, you're gonna have to wait for a reaction. You're gonna have to wait to see it test and reject, because I'm looking at that and it might actually go all the way back up to that resistance. Right? Might actually go all the way back up to that resistance. That's 61.8. That's why you have 159.89. Look for a reaction. It's not a definite that it's going to turn down from there. A fib level is good. A fib level is there, but it doesn't mean that a fib level cannot be broken. So I am more tempted to think that the euro yen could come up to this point before turning back down again. Okay, to answer your question there, FX Chief Priest. And then Hungry Foodie is asking about the Euro Aussie and Euro CAD. Euro Aussie. So remember Aussie dollar, I'm thinking that it might bounce, it might push higher. Euro dollar pushing a little bit higher right now. So on the Euro Aussie, It is pushing up because of euro dollar to the upside, reclaiming a little bit of ground. So this level, one here, I am thinking that could work on this 38.3 points right there. Euro dollar, some strength pulling back up. I think that could come up. Still to the downside. I mean, we're definitely looking at downside potential for the Euro Aussie. What I'm anticipating is that it could come up to around level before turning back down again. So I would be watching that 38.2. I think these are a little bit too far away. 60 and the 51.8 and the 50 are a little bit too far away. If it goes up to this area, it might reverse further. But if it stays below 38.2, then you could be looking for more downside potential. And that might also be supported with that move. That trend line could come up, test that trend line, and push back down. So that's the view on the Euro Aussie for Hungry Foodie. And Euro CAD, I'll look at it when I come to the CAD. And I look at the US CAD as well, okay? Onto the US Swiss franc, pushed up, did not go as high as expected. Now retracing back down. Look at the dollar index, pushing back down again. Hope it does that. Love that. You're most welcome there, Hungry Foodie. Looking at this. You know, I don't really feel like I'm going to stop talking about the US. But it is a major. I have to break out, come back, test, bounce. It's going to come back in. It's going to come back in, test, bound. Like that move. This is going to come back to 8930. Right? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the way the price action on this, the price movement on this. It's going to come back down to 830. Then the dollar strength is going to push back up. It's the same pattern as what we're expecting here, right? Dollar coming back down, pushing back up. It's going to come back down here before pushing back up. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for on the US Swiss franc, but don't think it's tradable, right? Because if you're looking to buy at any point, right, to buy here, we know that it swung down from this point. There's only a 20 something pip move, not worth it. Then if you're looking to buy higher up, even less pips, not worth it. So I think that sit and watch the US Swiss franc. It's going to come back down, test 8930 before pushing up towards 8990, but I don't think it's tradable. Okay. That. Oh, yep. Okay. So potential. Does anyone trade the US Swiss franc a lot? Just let me know. Potential upside. Retrace to 0.8930. for upside. But then I'm having fun doing it. Then US CAD, the loonie, right? So it sounded silly when I was looking at this. I was looking to do this yesterday, but it almost came true. It almost came true where we did see the US CAD push to the downside. Take that one away for now, right? Because of that downward push or that downward trend line on the CAD way. So it almost came around, not yet. Now looking like it's put back. That equal low there. Dollar's consolidating at that point. And consolidate along here before pushing up, potentially pushing up. Then I would say that that's the level. So what you do have an opportunity here on the US CAD just because of what happened here early September. If it does push up and break above that trend line, so 1.3520, stop loss 30 pips, take profit a good 65 pips to the upside would be very reasonable. Dollar strength pushing it back up. Do we have CAD news today? Some CAD news, not major, so I'm not super concerned. I could be looking for that, or alternatively, could be looking to sell down 1.3485, stop loss tight, no more than 20 pips, 25, take profit 45. There we have it. You have a bit of a straddle there on the US CAD. Okay, but I think in this scenario, I kind of like that upside a bit more. Moved it a bit narrow because I don't really like that one. I like that one a bit more just because of what happened here on the 1st of September. So 1.3520, stop loss 30, take profit 65. Go buy 1.35 again. 1.3520, stop loss 30, take 1.3520, stop loss 30, profit 5. Okay, there we go. Okay, then, so now looking at the euro dollar again, it is retracing, doesn't matter, look for it to go back up wherever it goes, but still looking for the downside. US CAD maybe pushing back up as well. So looking at the euro CAD, euro dollar gaining, CAD weakness could push this back up. Okay, let me just clear out some of this. The last time I looked at it was in May. So let's just start on this. Bottom is there. Another one there. Then a resistance about there. That for now. So with that, looking at this support level, my resistance, which is actually not very strong given that the way broke through so easily, but it's because of those points there. then you're looking at this on move to the downside. That's 50% there. Approaching 23. Okay, so there we go. If it breaks above 23.6, about there, it's hesitating at that point. Euro dollar pushing up, CAD possibly pushing up. I would be looking for this to come up towards that resistance. It looks like a big move. Looks like a big move, but CAD could push up. CAD could push up to that point. But I'm looking, because we're looking at a euro dollar weakness later on, or to be coming around, then I'll be looking for this to push down 30 pips to a good 100 pips back down again. So patience, I think a lot of patience required here. You could buy it up. I wouldn't, because it's counter trend and not a pair that I usually trade on. So you could buy it up, but I'll be looking for it. If I were trading, I'll be looking for it to test and reject 1.448 or 1.4490 before shutting back down again. Okay, hope that makes sense to you. Again, I'm Hungry Foodie. And then now the most requested for today. This is the first time I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 person asking about gold. Gold did perfectly as we spoke about. So yesterday we said below 1930 could get to 1895, but what happened? It went down to not 1930, 1903, failed to break 1903 and push back up. Okay, you see that it pushed back up despite what happened here on the dollar, right? So only early this morning when we saw the dollar push back down. This was but we saw this move last night already. I found that support here and it pushed back up. This was at 10 o'clock last night. If I zoom it in a little bit, you see at 10 o'clock, like 10 o'clock at that point, right? The dollar started weakening a little bit before pushing back up. Gold bounced off from that point. Did not turn back down despite the dollar strength. Okay, so it found a very good support, and this is why your levels are crucially important, right? Levels are crucially important when we look for when to start thinking of getting the trades, because for me, I was only looking below 1903. I would short term, I would scalp it down to 1895. Didn't get past 1903. Didn't bother about it. I remained my focus on the euro and the pound. So now that it's pushed back up, long story short, now that it's pushed back up, you would see that it's found some resistance at that 50% level. Terrible. Go. Probably 60. There we go. Catching that whole move, you see that it's found resistance at 61.8. I don't like this as a support anymore just because it's broken so easily. I like 1903 still. Now, at this point, dollar pushing back down a little bit, but we are seeing gold drop back down a little bit as well. I would say that back down that I want to pay attention to. And in fact, I'm more specific to say about that level. I don't care about that one so much. About right here. Gonna bounce around here a little bit because of the dollar. Look, the dollar's coming down, coming towards this area, and I expect. So that's supposed to push up a little bit. That's supposed to push up a little bit. And we are looking at this to the upside like that. Just don't know why it's going some downside move. Think that it should climb up a little bit more. Okay, so what I'll be looking for here, gold, a consolidation along this point. Only if it breaks below 1914, then we could see it come down towards 1903. That's the move I'll be looking for. Okay, there we go. So below 1914, get to back towards 19. There we have it. Right? Okay, good. This session took a little bit longer than usual. Just a lot of things to ramble on about, a lot of things to think about. So I hope it's been good information for you guys. Do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. The Discord channel is there. Like Val says, do what Val is doing. Catch up on Discord. The link is there. I'll see you all there. I will be also posting up this as a summary, so do check it out. It is on my profile there, right? So it's always going to get posted. Help me out, click that little rocket ship button as well. Kiwi dollar is still coming down. Aussie is still doing that. Yen hesitating along that resistance. Might not break. The pound dollar still retracing. That's good. Looking for it to test that resistance before turning down. Euro dollar climbing, doesn't matter. Go do whatever you want to do. I'm only looking to sell it down. Maybe one point to consider is at that 50% level. US Swiss franc, do whatever you want. Not bothered by the US Swiss franc. US CAD, interesting with a bit of a straddle at this point. Okay. With all that said, please trade well, trade safe, have a fantastic weekend ahead. I will see you all on Monday. Same time, same place. But before that, maybe on Discord. Take care now. Bye.